Manga-Waido.
I'm Tomoya Inoue. I'm 41. I'm a police officer. My job was to protect and serve my community. That may sound prestigious and exciting to some, but my job was pretty boring, to be honest. I worked at a police box, so all I really did was help people out with directions and stuff. Nothing exciting about that. Ma'am, I'm gonna ask you again. What's your name? And where do you live? Straight, then left. Wait, no, you go right. Hey now, get up, come on! Stop going up! I worked at a police box in downtown, so at night, things got pretty busy. Drunk people fighting, theft, couples fighting on the streets, that sort of stuff. Honestly, I didn't think this was the job for me. I was always the quiet type and I hated sticking my head into trouble, but I was too old to quit now. And I had to keep going for my late wife, Ayako, and for my new family too. One day, when I came home from the night shift, my daughter Yuka was watching TV in the living room. Hey.
Ugh, what are you wearing? You look so dirty.
Then she got up and sprayed me down with something. What the?
It's called deodorant. You stink.
Then she turned around and walked into her room. Yuka's my stepdaughter. Her mother, Tomoe, and I got married when Yuka was 9 years old. I looked at myself in the mirror. She was right. I looked terrible. But that's what happens when you have to deal with drunks in the city. I mean, I know I look pretty dirty, but still, that hurts. She was just being a teenager, so it was understandable. But it still hurt when she talked to me like that. After college, I joined the police academy. And that's where I met my first wife, Ayako. Ayako always stood up for the right things. She was born to be a police officer, if you ask me. Unlike me, she took pride in her work. But then, a year after we got married, she was in an accident and got killed. After her passing, I found this note in her bag. It was a note from me, in case anything happened to her. She told me that she wanted me to be happy. She told me to keep going and live my life. Ayako knew that being a police officer came with its risks. That's probably why she kept this note in her bag. I missed her so much. I cried a lot. It made me feel pathetic, but I couldn't help it. Then, 4 years later, I met Tomoe through a friend and we got married. Yuka was 9 at the time. When we first met, we got along really well.
Here you go! Happy Father's Day!
Wow, you made that? Thank you! Father's Day, birthdays, Valentine's Day. I miss those. I tried to talk to Tomoe about it, but
Stop whining.
she wasn't very supportive.
Look, she's just being a teenager. You know how it is, this is perfectly normal.
I know, but still, I miss spending time with her like the good old days. That's all. Things between Tomoe and me were getting a bit awkward too these days. Not sure why, but maybe I was working too much? But I was doing this for my family. Is it that I'm not trying hard enough? Should I quit and get a different job so I can spend more time with them? But I can't quit. I made a promise with Ayako. Then one day, Yuka brought her friend over.
Sorry about him. He's filthy. Just ignore him. Come on, let's go to my room.
She said as we walked past the living room. I miss the good old days. I knew she was just growing up, but still. Then one day, I decided to have a talk with her. I thought enough was enough. Hey, what's your problem, huh? I work hard day and night for this family. So what if I come home sweaty? That's part of the job. I take pride in my work, okay?
Yeah, whatever. And let me guess, you gotta do this for your dead wife, right?
Hey, that's enough!
Stop yelling at me. I'm out of here.
Hey! She turned around and walked away. There was nothing I could say to stop her. She knew about what happened to my first wife, but why does she have to say it like that? Wait, is this the reason she's angry with me? So things at home were a bit awkward, but I still had a job to do. I had to protect my family, and not just Tomoe and Yuka. My dad was no longer with us, but my mom was still around, so I had to think about her too. I'm the one holding this family together. I've gotta stay strong. I decided to tough it out and move on. I didn't have time to feel sorry for myself. That night, when I was patrolling the city with my partner,
Thief! Help! Help me!
we heard a woman screaming. Sounds like trouble. Then, this motorcycle popped out of nowhere. It was coming straight for us. The guy had a purse in his right hand. This must be the guy! I didn't know what to think. The faces of my family flashed across my mind. Tomoe, Yuka, Ayako, my mom. I tried to tell the guy to stop, but there wasn't enough time. I stood in front of the bike, trying to stop it. The thief slammed on the brakes. Then the bike came flying towards me. I heard a loud thud, and then I passed out.
It's been days, but Dad was still unconscious. I was starting to lose track of time. I didn't even know what day of the week it was. Then the nurse came in. My time was up. It was time for me to go home. So I got my stuff and started heading home. When I got home, my mom was cooking dinner for me. I haven't been to school in days, but she didn't say anything.
How was he?
Same. I was used to eating without Dad, but still it felt weird. And I felt so weak. I didn't feel like doing anything. When he was around, I hated him. I thought I didn't need him in my life, but now I'm not so sure. Mom, why did you marry him?
Huh? Where's this coming from? Well, when you were little, your father passed away. I told you that, right?
Yeah, I know that, but I'm asking, why did you choose him? I know you met through a friend, but what sealed the deal for you?
Well, he lost his wife, too, and
According to my mom, when she met him, he was still out of it. He still wasn't over his late wife. But then one day, everything changed.
when he met you, everything changed.
She said to me,
You helped him get his life back. He was able to move on because of you, Yuka.
but I was a kid back then. I don't remember any of this. I got up to head back to my room. I don't think he's over his first wife. I'm sure of it. He still thinks about her.
That's why you were angry with him, isn't it? I kind of had a feeling.
That doesn't upset you, Mom? I mean, I feel bad and all, but still, he's got you now. He's got a new family now.
I know, dear, but it's complicated, okay? I'm sure you'll understand once you're older.
The next day, when I got to the hospital, there was someone sitting next to his bed. Grandma! Yuka, hey. After the accident, she was the first one here. She came here almost every day. He's still not up. I know. Hey, I heard you've been coming here almost every day. Thank you, dear. And I've got you something. Grandma handed me this letter. It was from Dad. He told me to give this to you if anything like this should happen to him. I opened the letter and started reading. Dear Yuka.
If you're reading this, I'm probably in the hospital, or worse. Maybe I won't get to see you again. If I'm dead, I wonder how I died. Maybe I died protecting hostages in a bank robbery or something. That'd be so cool.
Dad.
But seriously, I'm a police officer, so hopefully I was able to help someone in the process. My late wife would always say, it's our job to protect and serve the community. And I take pride in that. But maybe you don't like it when I talk about my first wife like this. I kinda noticed that. It's true. I still think about Ayako. I respect her, and she'll always have a place in my heart. But I need you to believe me when I say that I love you, and your mother. From the bottom of my heart, you're my family now. And you two mean everything to me.
There was more, but I couldn't continue reading. I started crying like a baby. So he knew all along, and he cared about us so much too. I had no idea. I gave him a big hug. I am so sorry, Daddy. I'm so sorry. Then his hand moved. I couldn't believe it. Dad?
Tomoya? Tomoya!
And slowly, he opened his eyes. And when he saw me, he smiled. I started crying again, but this time it was from joy. I gave him a big hug again. Daddy, I love you so much.